Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the FUNimation dub of episode 97 of Dragonball Super. After seeing the opening theme song, which has now been changed to feature Frieza in Boo's place, we begin this episode in the Null Realm with the Grand Minister deciding to repeat the rules for the Tournament of Power one more time for the sake of those unfamiliar with the rules for one reason or another. So the rules are, there will be a time limit of 100 tacks, the equivalent of 48 Earth minutes, well, Universe 7 Earth minutes at least. And the time limit will be represented by the central pillar of the arena lowering, and the time limit is up when the central pillar sinks into the floor of the arena. Weapons and killing are forbidden, and opponents are eliminated from the tournament by being knocked out of the arena. Even a defeated opponent is still participating in the tournament until they have been knocked out of the arena. Flying with energy control has been restricted on the fighters, but natural flight, like with wings for example, is still allowed, and healing items are forbidden. So after hearing the rules one more time, Gohan makes a point to remind the rest of the 7th Universe team about Shin's advice that they use teamwork by standing back to back and facing off against opponents with 2 or more members of the 7th Universe team. In other words, no one-on-one fights. Android 17 and Android 18's expressions, however, suggest that they don't think very highly of this plan. Vegeta outright dismisses this plan by calling it cowardly in his words, and Frieza simply says something along the lines of, "Your plan has been noted, but that's all I'm going to say on the matter." We also see Caulifla is trying to encourage Kale, who is acting rather nervous. Frieza also mentions that he enjoys the bloodlust that he can sense, and Master Roshi says that he will face off against the female fighters. In the spectator seats, we see Shin, Old Kai, and Beerus admitting that they are hoping that the 7th Universe team will win the Tournament of Power. And Beerus is annoyed by Whis calmly pointing out that Shin, Old Kai, and Beerus' existence all rest on the shoulders of the 7th Universe team, because Whis, like the rest of the Angel Assistants, will be spared regardless of which universe wins or loses the Tournament of Power. Katella also takes a chance to insult Beerus when Beerus tries to encourage the 7th Universe team to use teamwork, but Universe 7's Destroyer decides to ignore the insults of Universe 4's Destroyer, which actually surprises Whis. So the Grand Minister then encourages the fighters to prepare themselves, and shortly after that, the Grand Minister declares that the Tournament of Power will begin now. And yes, we see that the ball gets rolling really quickly after the Tournament of Power officially starts. The Omni Kings are impressed by all the fights that are happening simultaneously. Goku in particular wastes no time in trying to find Top and rushing off to have a rematch with the leader of the Pride Troopers, but Goku is interrupted by the arrival of the Universe 4 spy, who decides to fight against Goku. Gohan tries to remind his dad about the teamwork plan that he mentioned not too long ago, but shortly after Goku rushes off, Vegeta, Android 17, Android 18, and Frieza also decide to go off and do their own thing. Master Roshi, however, tries to assure Gohan that the rest of them already figured that those particular characters were not going to stick with the plan. Shin, Old Kai, and Beerus are shown to share Gohan's frustration that half of the 7th Universe team members decided to dismiss the plan to use teamwork. Narirama from Universe 3 is shown using the spinning technique on a great number of fighters, but Hit and Basil quickly put a stop to that spinning technique plan. Shortly after that, Basil uses the Shining Blaster technique twice to knock out a fighter from the 10th universe. This 10th universe fighter is the humanoid fighter with butterfly wings. She's voiced by Crystal Laporte. And we also get to see what happens to a fighter who is knocked out of the arena. So yes, fighters knocked out of the arena will be teleported to the spectator seats. The Grand Minister announces that this fighter is the first fighter to be eliminated from the Tournament of Power, and he reveals the fighter's name to be Rylabu. The Omni Kings are given God pads, or yes, we see that the Omni Kings have God pads, and they use the God pads to tap Rylabu's picture to show that she has been eliminated from the tournament. Ramush is furious that the 10th Universe team was the first team to have a fighter eliminated from the Tournament of Power, and Rylabu apologizes by saying that she forgot to fly because everything happened so quickly. Gowasu, on the other hand, stays calm, and he says that there's no sense in getting upset over what's happened. Yes, Gowasu is the one who's staying calm, and he says there's no sense in getting angry over what has already happened. And he also says that they should view this along the lines of still having 9 fighters left in the Tournament of Power. Gowasu also tries to cheer Rylabu up by suggesting that she cheer on her teammates, and Rylabu agrees to cheer on her teammates. So we see more of the divine beings in the spectator seats watching the tournament continue, and the Supreme Kai from Universe 1 in particular comments that he wants the 7th Universe team to entertain them. With the 5 members of the 7th Universe team that are still sticking to the teamwork plan, Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, and Master Roshi, we see that those 5 members of the 7th Universe team are now surrounded by various fighters. Botamo and Lavender are 2 of those fighters that are surrounding them. But Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, and Master Roshi are able to use teamwork to fight back against these various fighters. Meanwhile, we see Basil is trying to knock another Universe 10 fighter out of the arena. This Universe 10 fighter looks sort of like a humanoid pig who also looks like a sumo wrestler. That's the best way I can think to describe this particular fighter. So yes, Basil is trying to knock out the Universe 10 fighter that looks like a sumo wrestling humanoid pig, who's voiced by David Wald. But the sumo wrestling humanoid pig is able to avoid being knocked out of the arena, and the Universe 10 divine beings reveal that this fighter's name is Napapa. Ramush also reveals that Napapa is a Yokozuna of Doyodor, and the Grand Minister explains to the confused Omni Kings that Doyodor is a type of martial arts from Universe 10, and Yokozuna is a title for the strongest among the Rikishi. Meanwhile, we see that the Universe 4 spy eventually retreats from Goku. So Goku is hoping to have his rematch with Top, but Top starts to fight another opponent. Yes, another opponent challenges Top before Goku has the chance to try and have a rematch with Top. But then Goku notices Jiren. The Omni Kings also notice Jiren. Jiren is remaining motionless during all of the chaos that's going on. Kei actually brings up how Jiren is remaining motionless, and Vermod says something along the lines about how that's the way Jiren rolls. So Goku is about to challenge Jiren, but he's interrupted when he's ambushed by a fighter from Universe 4. This fighter's name is revealed to... the name of this fighter is revealed to be Nink, and he's voiced by Jim Johnson. Nink actually plans to fall off the arena while holding on to Goku so that Goku will also be eliminated from the Tournament of Power. But Goku is able to break free by briefly transforming into Super Saiyan Blue, so only Nink is eliminated from the Tournament of Power, not Goku. Beerus yells at Goku for not transforming into Super Saiyan Blue to break free sooner. Goku justifies this by saying that he's saving his energy, although Whis makes a point to mention that saving your energy isn't going to do you any favors if you end up eliminated from the tournament. Nink actually remains rather calm that the plan didn't go the way they hoped, but Kitella starts to yell at Nink for costing their own universe's team a fighter without also taking down another universe team's fighter. So the Grand Minister announces Nink has been eliminated from the Tournament of Power, and the Omnikings tap on Nink's picture on their god pads to represent that he's no longer part of the tournament. And the Omnikings are also wondering who will be the next fighter to be eliminated from the tournament. Suddenly, Goku finds himself surrounded by ninth universe fighters. Yes, Goku finds himself surrounded by 5 members of the 9th universe team. 3 of these fighters are the Trio of Danger, while one other fighter looks like a humanoid bunny, and the other fighter looks like a reptile. The reptile's skin looks kind of metallic to me. The narrator then announces that there are 47 minutes left in the Tournament of Power, and that's how we end this episode. So there you go. We had to wait quite a bit of... Yes, we had to wait a while. We had to wait quite some time, but it's finally happened. The Tournament of Power has officially begun. And yes, things are rather chaotic with the start of the Tournament of Power. And by the end of this episode, 2 fighters have already been eliminated. A fighter from Universe 10 and a fighter from Universe 4. And only half of the 7th Universe team members decided to stick with the plan to use teamwork. Now, yes, we also see that the Omnikings are keeping track of which fighters are still in the tournament versus the fighters that have been eliminated by using God pads. And honestly, I found that hilarious. Yeah, I found that hilarious. The God pads is a hilarious idea. I got a good laugh out of that. And it does look like it will be a helpful way to keep track of all the fighters that are still in the tournament versus the fighters that have been eliminated. And I wouldn't be surprised if some fans also come up with charts to keep track of the fighters that are still participating versus the fighters that are eliminated. Some fans did that during the sub-airing for these episodes, so I wouldn't be surprised if those fans pull those charts out again for the dub viewers, or if some dub viewers decide to make those charts too. Yes, I've seen different design charts to get that point across to keep track of everything, so I wouldn't be surprised if more of those pop up in the discussion threads or discussion places on the internet for dub-only viewers. So otherwise, yes, like I said, Universe 10 and Universe 4 are the universe teams that have lost a fighter so far. And we do get to see Ramush and Kitella are furious about this, but Gowasu actually is staying calm. And this kind of highlights why I grew to really like Gowasu, or why Gowasu became one of my favorite characters from who was introduced in Dragon Ball Super. I liked how Gowasu stayed calm even though their universe's team lost a fighter first. He stayed really calm about it. He said there's no use in getting angry over what has happened, and he was looking on the bright side still, instead of Ramush, who was looking at things along the lines of there's only 9 fighters left before we're erased from existence. Gowasu was thinking about it along the lines of at least we still have 9 fighters left. And I also liked how Gowasu tried to cheer Rylabu up by suggesting that she cheer her teammates on. So yeah, it was a brief scene, but it does go to show why Gowasu quickly became one of my favorite characters introduced in Dragon Ball Super. I think he's a very likable character. And speaking of Universe 10, we also do get a brief backstory for Napapa. And yes, it's very brief, but it still gives us a little insight on at least some of the societies of Universe 10. And I do appreciate that. I do appreciate the lore or world building or multiverse building in this case that we get in the franchise. So it's, yeah, no matter how small the detail is, I do appreciate those scenes or explanations about lore with regards to the multiverse. Now, the other big detail to mention is the narrator commented at the end of this episode that there are 47 minutes left in the Tournament of Power. So, in universe, only 1 minute passed. And this actually does highlight a point that I have tried to, this actually highlights a point that many fans have tried to explain to some other fans that might have possibly been confused. And I know I've tried to explain this to some of my relatives who are watching the series, but generally speaking, when it comes to the Dragon Ball franchise, the fights are usually, it's best to think of the fights as happening at a really fast pace. It's best to view the fights in the franchise as being slowed down for the sake of the for the viewers. Chances are in real time the fights are happening at such a fast pace that that people wouldn't normally be able to keep track of everything, or people that ordinary people, that might be the best way to put it. The fights are normally happening at such a fast pace that that an ordinary person would likely not be able to see what's going on. So the fights are definitely slowed down for the audience's convenience so we can actually see what's going on. And with regards to the Tournament of Power, it should also be noted that a lot of these fights are happening simultaneously. Yes, it's safe to say that a lot of these fights are happening simultaneously, and we're just being shown these different fights or different events one at a time, again, for audience convenience. So, yeah, I bring that up because I remember Dragon Ball Z's Frieza saga had the notorious 5 minutes. For those unfamiliar, in the Frieza saga, Frieza had planned to... Frieza launched a death ball towards Planet Namek and said Planet Namek would explode in 5 minutes. But obviously that didn't happen in 5 real-life minutes. Yes, Planet Namek didn't explode in 5 real-life minutes. It took several episodes for Planet Namek to explode. And this highlights the point of what we're trying to get at. The fight was slowed down for the sake of the audience to actually see the fight. And yeah, that's the case here with the Tournament of Power. The fights are being slowed down so the audience can see the fights, and a lot of these fights are happening at once, but we, the viewers, only see them one at a time, again, for the convenience of the audience. So, that's just a helpful heads up for anyone who might be confused. And yeah, though, I wouldn't be surprised if some fans are going to start joking about how this is the new 5 minutes until Planet Namek explodes. I'm sure there probably were jokes like that when the sub version aired, but I wouldn't be surprised if those jokes return for the dub-only viewers. But otherwise, yes, there we go for now. So the Tournament of Power has officially started. 2 opponents of the 80 fighters, 2 fighters of the 80 fighters have been eliminated from the Tournament of Power already. And yes, things are rather chaotic right now. And, well, this is going to pretty much be the rest of the saga. The Tournament of Power will end by the last episode of the Universe Survival Saga. So fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be we're in for quite a chaotic ride for the rest of the Universe Survival Saga. So otherwise, there we go for now. So as of this video, we have now discussed the FUNimation dub of episode 97 of Dragon Ball Super on this channel. Take care, and until next time.